The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once remarked that the secret lies in keeping company with those who elevate you, people whose presence brings out your highest self. You've likely heard the phrase, and you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Today, we're going to examine this powerful idea through a Stoic perspective. We'll uncover 7 types of individuals who can subtly or directly hinder your growth in the pursuit of Stoic virtue, and more importantly, how to manage these tricky relationships wisely. Before we dive in, it would mean a lot if you could like this video to support the continued spread of Stoic teachings. And if you're not already subscribed, I suggest subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss future insights. Type 1. The complainer. Most of us know someone, a colleague, family member, or friend, who always has something to criticize. Whether it's the weather, their daily routine, or even a 5-star meal, they're never satisfied. You might think, why should I care? I can just ignore them. But it's not that simple. Constant exposure to this type of negativity subtly drains your emotional reserves like a dripping faucet slowly emptying a tank. Stoicism instructs us to concentrate on what we can change and to direct our energy towards solutions rather than ruminating over problems. Picture working on a team project with someone who constantly complains. Each meeting becomes a tiresome loop of gripes and nothing constructive gets done. The result? Team morale drops, progress halts, and your own sense of purpose can begin to fade. Stoicism help here. First, reduce your contact with such individuals whenever possible. If that's not an option, perhaps they're a CO worker or family, then mentally detach during their rants. Picture their words as a storm, loud and uncomfortable, but fleeting, and incapable of shaking your inner calm. Another strategy, redirect the conversation. Shift it towards solutions or more positive topics. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This enduring Stoic lesson reminds us to safeguard our mental space so that chronic negativity doesn't pull us off our path toward virtue and resilience. Type 2. The drama magnet. Imagine your life as a peaceful ship gliding across calm seas until you cross paths with a drama magnet. These people constantly generate chaos, conflicts, crises, controversies, and like a whirlpool, they have a knack for dragging you into their turbulent world. At first, their high energy might seem alluring, as if it's passion or enthusiasm. But soon, you see the toll it takes. Navigating their emotional storms is exhausting and risky. What's especially challenging is how their turmoil begins to feel like your own. You get pulled into disputes that had nothing to do with you. For example, let's say you have a friend who always has a falling out with someone, Sarah today, Tom tomorrow. They confide in you, and before long, you're wrapped up in conflicts you never asked for. A Stoic-inspired method you can use is reflective listening. Rather than jumping in to give advice or take sides, mirror back what they've said. If they tell you, "I can't believe Sarah said that," respond with something like, "And so you're feeling betrayed by Sarah's words." This shows empathy without entanglement. Another option, and one we'll explore more in the next section, is to remain the calm eye in the storm. You don't have to absorb their chaos. You can be present without participating. Counterintuitive but powerful approach is to become selectively unavailable. Stoic teachings remind us to treat our time as precious. And sometimes, that means removing yourself from other people's repeated crises, especially those that show no sign of resolution. Try switching off your phone during designated hours. Set aside focused blocks of time dedicated solely to your personal development or work. Make it clear, during these periods, interruptions are off limits. As Seneca put it, untrue happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This mindset is especially useful when dealing with drama magnets. Rather than bracing yourself for the next emotional firestorm, center your attention on what's right in front of you. This very moment, where your influence resides. Enjoy the calm. Protect your life from being hijacked by someone else's turbulence. Let your ship sail smoothly, away from the whirlpools that threaten your progress toward inner peace and growth. Type 3. The naysayer. Picture yourself as an artist, carefully bringing your vision to life on a blank canvas. Each brushstroke adds depth and color. Then, in walks the naysayer. They glance at your work and immediately cast doubt, and that color doesn't seem right. You know, most artists don't make it. Their words, like gray smudges, begin to dim your bright masterpiece. This isn't the kind of thoughtful feedback that helps refine your craft. It's a steady drip of discouragement. Say you're eager to transition into a new career. You've done the groundwork, talked to professionals, researched thoroughly, maybe even enrolled in a few courses. But once you share your plans, the naysayer chimes in with reasons why it won't work. That field's too competitive. Are you really qualified? What if you fail? And before long, their doubts start echoing in your own head, shaking your confidence. So how can a Stoic approach help? One strategy is to shift the dynamic. Instead of just announcing your ambitions, ask them for their advice. When people step into a mentoring role, they're less likely to critique and more inclined to contribute constructively. Another tactic is what's known as positive confrontation. When they say, "Push and you'll never make that career switch," respond with curiosity. Interesting. What do you think someone should do to transition successfully? This not only deflects their negativity, but it also encourages a more productive dialogue. Epictetus reminds us, "Well, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." But listening wisely means filtering, knowing when someone is offering insight and when it's just noise. When the naysayers try to shade your vision with gloom, pause, reflect, and keep painting your life boldly with the colors that matter to you. Don't let anyone turn your personal masterpiece into a dull gray wall. Type 4. The victim think of life as a chessboard. Every player starts with the same pieces and pursues the same objective, checkmate. It takes planning, sacrifice, and bold moves. But the victim archetype refuses to take responsibility for their position on the board. They blame everything and everyone but themselves, the rules, the board, even the other players. In their story, they're perpetually trapped, not by their own choices, but by some mysterious external force. I can't succeed because my boss is against me. So can't get in shape, it's just my genetics. Now let's be clear. Many people do face real systemic obstacles, but the type of victim we're discussing uses hardship as a lifelong alibi. Rather than taking even a small step forward, they cling to a storyline where they're always the powerless character. You might find yourself cast as the emotional support in their endless drama. Maybe you've spent hours comforting a friend who blames every failed relationship on their exes. While your compassion is admirable, this dynamic can slowly wear you down, and worse, it can make you adopt the same helpless outlook. So what does Stoicism advise? As tempting as it may be to play the rescuer, it's more important to set clear boundaries. Don't sacrifice your mental peace to save someone who isn't ready to save themselves. Stoic resilience involves recognizing what's within your power and where your responsibility ends. Sometimes, protecting your energy is the most virtuous choice you can make. Also employ a technique called compassionate detachment. This means showing empathy and kindness without trying to fix problems that aren't yours to solve. Be a supportive listener, yes, but resist the urge to become a permanent emotional crutch. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, and a best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. So when you're drawn into a victim's never-ending saga, don't mirror that mindset. Stay grounded. Move forward. In the chess game of life, staying perpetually in checkmate is often a choice, not destiny. Play your game with wisdom. Make sacrifices when needed, and keep striving not for pity or validation, but for growth, virtue, and personal excellence. Type 5. The toxic positivist. You've met them before. The ever-sunny individual whose life seems powered by motivational quotes, glitter emojis, and a good vibes only mindset. They mean well, but when you're going through something painful, their response often feels like a denial of your reality. Imagine your life as a garden. There are blooming flowers, yes, but there are also weeds, pests, and rough soil. The toxic positivist insists on ignoring all of that. I'll just focus on the flowers, they say. Got problems? Just smile. Feeling down? Cheer up. There are worse things happening to someone else. Let's say you're grieving a breakup. You're confused, hurting, maybe even angry. But the toxic positivist tells you, aren't there plenty of fish in the sea, just be happy. This kind of response can feel hollow. It's not encouragement, it's invalidation. So how do we tend our emotional garden without letting this relentless sunshine blind us? One Stoic-inspired strategy is to acknowledge both the light and the shadow. If they say, and at least you have your health, you can respond, "Well, that's true, and I'm grateful, but I'm also allowed to feel sad about this right now." Both realities can exist side by side. Another tool is emotional granularity, the ability to accurately name and feel a full range of emotions. Instead of denying discomfort, you can say, "And I'm feeling a little melancholy today because of X, and that's okay." Seneca once said, "Untrue happiness is to understand our duties toward God and man, to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Notice the balance in his words, duties which can be difficult, and joy which must be grounded. Stoicism doesn't promote blind optimism. It teaches us to embrace reality with courage and clarity. So when the toxic positivist starts sprinkling confetti all over your carefully tended garden, step back. Remember, real growth needs both sunshine and rain. Nurture your emotional life with honesty, and let your full human experience bloom. Type 6, the manipulator. Visualize your life as a movie script. You're the main character. You know the plot, the conflicts, the lessons, and hopefully the triumphs. Then, someone enters your life and begins rewriting the scenes, subtly, quietly. The manipulator is the hidden producer, influencing your script in ways that serve their agenda, not yours. They might use guilt, charm, or deceit to get what they want. Imagine a friend who always finds a way to have you pay for dinner. They might say, "And I've had such a rough month and you're doing so well. It wouldn't cost you much, but it would really help me out. I want to be generous," but over time, it feels less like kindness and more like manipulation. And when you try to bring it up, they frame it like you're the bad guy for questioning their needs. What can a Stoic do in this situation? First, try fogging, a psychological strategy where you agree with any truths in their statement, but stay firm in your decision. If they say, "When you're successful you can afford it," you could respond, "You're right. I've been doing okay financially, but I think we should split the bill like usual." Second, set clear and respectful boundaries. When they ask for money, favors, or your time, especially if it feels manipulative, learn to say no without guilt. Keep your tone calm, your words firm. Say something like, "I care about you, but I'm not in a position to do that right now." Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake in any thought or action. I shall gladly change. I seek the truth." This isn't just about being flexible, it's also about standing in truth. When you know you're being manipulated, respond with clarity, not confrontation. Take back control of your own story. You're the author. Make sure the plot serves your character development, not someone else's power trip. Say something like, "I can't lend you money, but I'm here for you emotionally." This simple statement draws a firm boundary while preserving the friendship. Inspired by the wisdom of Epictetus, who once said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." Remember this. The manipulator thrives on predictability, your need to please, your guilt, your kindness. But when you choose to respond differently, calmly, with intention, you reclaim authorship over your life. If you sense a manipulator at work in your story, take the pen back. You're not just a character, you're the writer, the director, and the lead. Let your values guide your narrative, not someone else's agenda. This is your script. Write it with clarity, strength, and integrity. Type 7. The Time Vampire. Think of your daily life as a symphony. Each task, goal, and moment a carefully tuned instrument playing in harmony. Then enters the Time Vampire, off-key, out of rhythm, throwing your melody into chaos. Often not malicious. They might be a CO worker who constantly interrupts with minor questions, or a well-meaning friend who fills your schedule with obligations that drain you. Each instance might seem small, but the cumulative effect? Profound. Your day gets fragmented. Your focus scatters. Your energy fades. How do you protect your precious time? One Stoic-friendly solution is the Pomodoro technique, working in focused intervals, typically 25 minutes, followed by short breaks. During these periods, set a clear boundary, no interruptions. When dealing with social time vampires, practice graceful refusal. You don't owe long explanations. A simple, "Thanks for the invite, but I can't make it," is powerful. Declining isn't rude, it's wise. It's not rejection, it's self-respect. Seneca once said, "A life, if well lived, is long enough." Time is your most sacred resource. Guard it fiercely. It's the canvas of your legacy. Every hour you spend should be a conscious brushstroke on your life's masterpiece. So conduct your symphony with intention. Let every note play in harmony with your higher purpose. And when the noise of distraction tries to drown your melody, raise your baton and stay in rhythm with your truth. We wrap up today's journey through the personalities that can derail your peace. From the drama magnet to the manipulator, the victim to the time vampire. Remember this, the most powerful practice of all is self-awareness. It's easy to spot these traits in others, but the deeper, more transformative question is, am I playing one of these roles in someone else's life? Stoicism isn't just about enduring the world, it's about elevating ourselves within it. So if anything in today's video sparked a realization, a moment of truth, or even just a flicker of introspection, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters. Let's build a space where wisdom is shared, growth is celebrated, and virtue is our guiding star. Until next time, may your choices align with your values, may your actions reflect your wisdom, and may your life become the masterpiece it's meant to be.